Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Fog Wrestling is the gift that keeps on giving, and we are here with your WWE Monday Night Raw review. Now, this was the last Monday Night Raw before Christmas, and as Jim Duggan would say, ho, 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 Santa Claus is coming, but he wasn't coming to Monday Night Raw. This was a weird show. There was no Santa Claus. Normally, back in the day, R-Truth would have put on a Santa costume, he would have come out and he would have cut a fucking god-awful promo. Now, I'm not complaining. I know R-Truth is out on the shelf. I know he's not available, but I'm surprised they never done some horrible Santa sort of gimmick, because they had Christmas trees. They acknowledged it was like a Christmas-themed Raw. They had like Christmassy colours in the logos, and they had Christmas trees at the top of the Titantron, the top of the ramp, and the ring posts were like had like mistletoes and shit on them, and it said like Raw Holidays. So it was a Christmas themed like logo and stuff like this, but in terms of the actual show, there was nothing to do with Christmas, which I thought was kind of weird. I mean, it wasn't a show killer for me, but if you're gonna like, you know, base the show around Christmas and identify it as a Christmas show, then surely you would need to have some Christmas stuff on the show. It would be like it'd be like Extreme Rules, but no Extreme Rules matches, you know. It didn't make any sense to me. So yeah, back in the day, you would have got all the divas out in their skimpy little Christmas costumes, and it would have been fucking great, but you don't get that anymore. You get nothing. You get absolutely nothing. Although we did get Bronson Reed to return, so if you want to masturbate over Bronson Reed, then go ahead, guys, but personally, he's not my cup of tea. We kicked off Raw, though, with Paul Heyman just doing the same shit that he does over and over and over, saying that he's Paul Heyman, he's the counselor, or he's the thing, whatever, for the tribal chief. Then Roman Reigns appears. He says that Raw is the show of Kevin Owens, and that now the Bloodline are coming to invade. Then we see the Bloodline beating up Mustafa Ali backstage. That seems to be this guy's only existence. I mean, why the fuck does Mustafa Ali even have a job? Literally any time you see him, it is for the sole purpose of getting beat up. Doesn't make much sense. Then we go to the ring. We get the Judgment Day versus the Street Profits. Boring match. Nothing interesting happening here. Tozawa throws the Street Profits like water cup into the face of Mysterio. He acts blinded, and then the Street Profits get the win. Then, of course, though, Rhea Ripley, looking like a fucking man, isn't happy. She walks up, she challenges Tozawa, and then she decks him with her right hand. Tozawa's laid out on the floor. He can't do nothing. He can't defend himself. The Street Profits convince him to have a match. He has a match with Rhea Ripley. I called it a match, but honestly, it was more of a burial. Rhea Ripley continued to beat the shit out of Tozawa. He couldn't defend himself. He wasn't allowed to strike back. He wasn't allowed to do any offensive moves. And the commentary team are marking out over Rhea Ripley beating up Tozawa. I just don't get it, guys. Honestly, why not even put over the fact that Tozawa doesn't want to strike a woman, that he's in a tough situation? They don't do that. They just pretend that Rhea Ripley's super strong and legitimately beating Tozawa. It makes no sense to me. Oh, we can't promote domestic violence, but we'll have a woman beat the shit out of a man. What sense does that make, guys? It makes absolutely no sense. Like, these intergender matches just don't fucking work, right? As soon as the woman first hits the man, he is entitled to defend himself, but in WWE, they can't grasp that. They're not capable of grasping that. They're not capable of defending themselves. And I'm not even talking about, like, you know, knocking her out. I'm not talking about punching her, but why the hell can't he perform a move? Why is he not allowed to do offensive moves? Every move he done in this match was basically a fade. Rhea Ripley, and there was one time he did a Hurricane Rana, but I would argue that's more of a counter to her powerbomb than an offensive move. So again, what was the point of this? Fucking no point. It makes Rhea Ripley look strong. It makes Rhea Ripley beating up men. It makes her look tough. But in reality, if Tozawa tried, there would be a different outcome. But we get the Rhea Ripley show, so it is what it is. Rhea Ripley that wins with the Riptide. Who cares? The burial of Tozawa. I actually felt sorry for the guy. We get a replay of what happened last week with Adam Pearce and Bobby Lashley. So no Bobby Lashley tonight. Would have liked to have seen Bobby, but we don't get Bobby. MVP is walking up. He tells Pearce that he wants to speak to him. There's rumours of the Hurt Business reuniting. I don't know. Do I hope so? I'm not too sure. Is MVP just giving up on Almost? I guess we'll find out. Then we get the OC versus the Alpha Academy. It's a win for the OC. After the match, the OC are celebrating with Mia Yim, and they get attacked from behind by the Bloodline. Then Mia Yim goes and basically just stands on the outside and watches the OC get beat up. So this is my problem with intergender stuff. I just don't think they should mix the men and the women if they cannot do intergender wrestling correctly. So Mia Yim's on the outside. She's watching her partners, the OC, get the shit beat out of them, and straight away, this makes her look like a pussy. Now, she might have one, but it makes her look horrible here because she's just watching her teammates getting beat up, even though you see Rhea Ripley, who is more than willing to lay her hands on a man, but you have the face in Mia Yim, who is not willing to do anything. She's not willing to physically touch a man because she is the face. She's not willing to defend her teammates, whereas Rhea Ripley is willing to get involved. So even though Mia Yim is the face in this makes her look incredibly weak. This made her look so fucking weak. The fact she just stood on the outside and watched this happen. If you want to know a way to do this correctly, you could have had Mia without a man seriously attacking a woman. You could have had a member of the Bloodline like knock Mia Yim off the ring apron, or you could have had one of them drag Mia Yim into the ring and restrain her and make her watch the beating that her teammates are getting. There's ways to work around this, but honestly, Mia Yim standing on the outside just watching it happen, it makes her look like a bitch, especially when Rhea Ripley, who is in the Judgment Day, she doesn't stand for that shit. She gets involved. She helps the guys in her stable. Whereas Mia Yim, who's supposed to be a warrior, who's supposed to be a face, is just going to stand on the outside and watch her, the guys in her stable get beat up. It makes no sense. Again, if you can't do men/women's wrestling correctly, and I don't even mean actual matches, I mean even in segments like this, if you can't do it correctly, then what is the point? You know what I mean? Like, what is the point? Because it's not like Mia Yim's a Fale. We don't believe that she's like helpless and just going to be standing on the outside. So it made her look incredibly weak just watching her teammates getting beat up here by the Bloodline. Fuck the Bloodline, we're all over tonight's show. Then we get Brian Saxon sitting down with Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair says she doesn't trust Alexa Bliss. Well, no fucking shit. Why should you trust her? You're defending your title against her. Why the hell would you be trusting Alexa Bliss? What sense does that make? Again, makes absolutely no sense. I mean, why should you trust the person you're defending your title against? Alexa Bliss then kind of defends herself. She says what happened to her wasn't fair. Everyone thought she was a crazy one, even though it was Bray Wyatt. Belair tries to talk about Bray Wyatt, then Alexa cuts her off, says, look, don't talk about Bray. Bray's not a threat to you, but I am. Bliss says she was here winning titles before Belair even got to WWE, and then they call off the interview, and Alexa Bliss lifts up like this vase of roses and just smashed it into the bank. Smashed it into the bank of Bianca Belair's head, and that was the end of it. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the worst thing ever. Then we get the winners take all ladder match. The Miz versus Dexter Lumis. Pretty strange. The Miz might have been in a lot of ladder matches. The commentary team were trying to portray him as a ladder match specialist, but he's not. Okay, the Miz is bang average in the ring, and a ladder match specialist he is not. This wasn't a good match. Normally, I couldn't even tell you last time we've seen a good ladder match. I tell you what, I don't think WWE are capable of putting a good one-on-one ladder match these days, because literally no one can fucking work a match, no one can sell, there is no story in the match. WWE today, in their ladder matches, they rely on big spots, they rely on multiple man spots, and obviously can't get that in a one-on-one match, so you'll never see a good one-on-one ladder match again in the WWE. The days of Michaels and Jericho, I mean, those days are fucking done. They're over. You're not getting them. Okay, you'll never get that. That's why the only decent ladder matches you get in WWE now are the Money in the Bank matches, and even then they're pretty poor. Literally, you never watch a Money in the Bank match and think, wow, that was a great match. Normally, at the end of it, you're going, well, there was a couple of cool spots in there, but the overall match is never good. And that's because the people in it aren't good. They can't work. The Miz wins after Bronson Reed makes his return. So Bronson Reed comes out, he pulls Lumis off the ladder, and then he hits his big finisher. So I'm guessing The Miz offered this Reed guy some money, and what's he going to do? Run it to McDonald's and buy 10 million Big Macs with it? The big fat fucking prick. This guy sucks. Why Triple H brought him back, I don't know, but I mean, there's a shitload of people Triple H has brought back that I don't agree with. I mean, how many people is there worth bringing back to WWE? I mean, there's a few people off the top of my head. There's 2 people that I really would like to see return back to the WWE: CM Punk and Enzo Amore. But those 2 won't get brought back. They're done. You can't have those 2 guys in the WWE. But we can have fucking bums like Bronson Reed that aren't going to amount to anything. So I just don't get it, man. Honestly, I don't. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn up next. Sami Zayn wins with help from Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa comes out from ringside. He distracts AJ. AJ goes to meet him and he starts beating him up as he's trying to climb over the barricade. Corey Graves says that, and this was weird, Corey Graves said that because AJ Styles initiated contact, that there'll be no DQ. That has never been the rule. Corey Graves, what the fuck are you talking about? The reason the ref never called for a DQ is because AJ Styles struck Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa never had the opportunity to strike AJ back. It doesn't matter if AJ strikes Solo Sikoa first. As soon as Solo Sikoa attacks AJ Styles and the referee sees it, it's a DQ. So Corey Graves doesn't even fucking know the rules here. So, what's Corey Graves doing? You fucking tell me. Maybe he fell asleep watching this show. If that's the case, I wouldn't blame him. AJ gets trying to get back into the ring. The ref's looking at Sami Zayn. Solo Sikoa hits a Samoan spike on AJ, and then Sami takes advantage, hits the blue thunderbomb. Sami Zayn gets the win. Then we get told next week we're getting a best of Raw 2022 week. So, there you go. Highlight week. Won't be worth watching, really. Rollins comes out, tries to cut a promo, says he's the man, or he tells Roman Reigns that he doesn't run Raw, that Seth Rollins runs Raw. Austin Theory comes out and says that he's the man that runs Raw. He says that if Rollins' claim about the US title meaning everything is true, then that means that Austin Theory is the man on this show. Rollins says that Austin Theory will never be on his level. Austin Theory says, you're just the worst member of the Shield. I'm pretty sure we've heard that. Like, I've heard that insult many a times now. I mean, I'm sure I've heard that at least 3 or 4 times on television, whether it be on AEW or WWE. I'm sure they've used it in both companies, but, I mean, get some new material, for fuck's sake, seriously. It wasn't a good promo. Everyone's marking out over it. I personally didn't really like it. Then the Usos come out. Theory runs away, leaving Rollins on his own, but out comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens makes it 2-on-2, and it gets announced that tonight Adam Pearce makes it official. We're going to get Rollins and Owens versus the Usos. So that's it. Then we get Becky Lynch cutting a promo backstage. Basically just says that her and Bayley have done a lot of things that they're not happy with, but the only difference is that Becky has done it alone. And then Becky says that she challenges Bayley to face her one-on-one tonight alone. Wasn't a good promo. It was pretty boring, actually. Then we get the match. Again, the match was okay. Nothing special. Bayley wins after hitting Lynch with a TV monitor while the referee was distracted by Io Sky and Dakota Kai. And then Bayley hit the Rose Plant on Becky to get the 1, 2, 3. So there you go. Big win for Bayley. Becky Lynch's comeback has been a bit poor, hasn't it? I mean, she's not the same woman she was 3 years ago. She will never hit those heights again. And to be fair, I don't think she deserves to. She was treated as the top person in the fucking company. She was getting this mega push and she decided to quit to go and have a child. And that's totally up to her. But, I mean, surely you can understand why WWE would not invest so much time in her again. You know, they must be sick of pushing people that just leave the company. Roman Reigns is already talking about leaving and retiring and 1 foot at the door, part-time schedule. Becky leaving to have a kid and all this stuff. You look before that, you'd Cena, who said he criticised The Rock for leaving to do movies, and then he did the exact same thing. I mean, it must be a bit tiring for WWE to continually push someone to the top and then that person to leave. But then again, maybe if wrestling wasn't so shit, maybe if wrestling was good, people would not leave. What did we get after that? We got Kevin Owens and Rollins cutting a promo backstage. Kevin Owens accused Rollins of trying to steal his WrestleMania match with Austin. Rollins says it wasn't him. Kevin Owens says he's 98% sure it was him. He was wearing a bright suit. Rollins says he doesn't wear bright suits. Kevin Owens says he was 100% sure Rollins wasn't. I mean, it was okay, but again, okay is not exactly doing much for me. You know, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I need more than okay, for fuck's sake. And then we get the main event. The main event was a decent little match. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins defeated the Usos. The ending of the match between Jimmy and Kevin was pretty good. Kept countering each other's moves. Jimmy kept countering the pop-up powerbomb. Owens was countering the super kick. Jimmy countered the stunner. Eventually, Owens hit him with a powerbomb and got the 1, 2, 3. Then after the match, Sami Zayn came out. He tried to attack Kevin Owens from behind, but Kevin Owens seen him, and then Sami Zayn literally just bottled it, and he managed to get out of there. So Sami Zayn was like, nah, not tonight. He didn't want any of Kevin Owens, and he left to go up to the backstage area with the rest of the bloodline. The announcers hyped up the final. The next Raw will be a best of Raw, and then this was the final Raw going into 2022. So I do find it weird that this was the final Raw of 2022, but there was no like Santa Claus stuff, there was no Christmas stuff, there was nothing like that. So yeah, I did think it was a bit weird, but overall that doesn't really affect the show for me. The announcers hyped the upcoming Raw and SmackDown episodes, so we've got title matches coming up soon. We've got Alexa versus, I think, is it next week on Raw? Not next week, the following week. I think it's the first Raw of January. Then we've got the 2 title matches. We've got Alexa versus Bianca Belair, and we've got Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins. So it looks like they're trying to hype that Raw up a lot. Who knows? Hopefully it was better than this Raw, though. I mean, this Raw wasn't great. I don't know. I just cannot get behind Rhea Ripley beating up Tozawa. It just doesn't work for me, guys, honestly. Especially when they're trying to portray it as a fair fight. They're trying to say that Rhea Ripley is legit beating up Tozawa, but we all know in reality Tozawa is essentially handcuffed. He can't do anything. He's not allowed to hit any sort of offensive move. So to me, it's dumb. I don't like that. Bronson Reed returns again. Who the fuck cares? I certainly don't. Average Raw for me. You know what? Average? No, below average. I'll give it a 2 out of 10, guys. It wasn't that good, honestly. Happy holidays. I'm just glad that Raw's not on next week, man. A break from watching this shite. 3 hours of my Monday night that I can actually get back. So yeah, guys, happy that we don't have Raw next week. I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. Let me know what you think down below. Catch you in the next one. Till then, no, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you later. Peace.